And welcome to the Bellarmine Sports Broadcasting Show. I'm Gabe Smith, and this is the Bellarmine Sports Broadcasting Network. This is going to be my last show of the year. It's been a joy to be with you guys both semesters long, and I've had a lot of fun. But right now, we still got some issues we got to talk about, and I'll sign off a little more later and talk about the year, the great things we've done for Bellarmine Sports Broadcast. But right now, let's get into this show. We're going to start with Caster Semenya. We talked about her a couple days ago. She's the runner from South Africa who is being forced by the IAAF to lower her natural testosterone levels before she can run in her events, the 800 or the 1600, before she can run again. Today, she ran her last event, or what could be her last 800-meter event, in a race in Qatar. She dominated the race. She raised her fist before the beginning of when she was introduced, and like I said, she dominated the race. After, she was asked if she was going to take the drugs that the IAAF is going to now require her to take if she's going to race again at the 800 or the 1600 meter length, and she said, hell no, I will not be taking those drugs. So, where does that leave this? It's kind of confusing. Caster Semenya is at odds with the IAAF. You have to think she's going to try to appeal again and try to get this ruling overturned. And as I said the other day, I don't exactly know where I fall on this issue. It does seem like, it's a natural testosterone level that is giving her this advantage, and we don't see people like Michael Phelps or Katie Ledecky be told they can't race at their distances or in their sports because of their supernatural bodies that they have, because those are more natural things than Semenya's testosterone level. It's going to be difficult to see where this is going to go, but Caster Semenya possibly running her last race at the 800 in Qatar earlier today. She's a double Olympic champion, three-time world champion, and we're going to see where this ends up. It's going to be a landmark case. It's going to decide a lot of things in athletics for both transgender as well as intersex runners, and we'll see how everything shakes out after that. The Carolina Hurricanes finished off a sweep of the New York Islanders earlier today. This is the bunch of jerks from Carolina that we've seen all year. I personally love everything that they do. They celebrate on the ice after every single one of their wins. They've been celebrating like crazy in these playoff wins. They sweep the Islanders, and they do it again. People are not fans of the Carolina Hurricanes. They say they're not professional. They say they're a bunch of jerks. But here's the thing. They're playing professional sports. They're getting paid a lot of money to play a children's game. You see 8-year-olds skating on the ice every winter playing hockey. And you see in any professional sport, I like when people celebrate. It's understandable. They're winning a game. It's a lot of fun, and they're getting paid a ton of money to do it. So why not celebrate when you're having fun and when you're doing things that you've never done before? This is a Carolina team that's played fantastic this year, and they're feeding off of this momentum that they have, and I love it. I love the fact that they're able to celebrate. I love the fact that they've been given this label of being jerks, because I think it just feeds them even more. And honestly, if there's a team that I had to pick, I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. They're out. They lost the Islanders in the first round. I like the Vegas Golden Knights because they have a great social media page. They're a lot of fun to watch, but they're out too after their loss to San Jose in the first round. This is a Carolina team that I'm rooting for throughout the rest of the year because I want to see them celebrate with the Stanley Cup in their bunch of jerks fashion. It'd be absolutely hilarious and a lot of fun to watch. I'm all for Carolina having fun. I think a lot of sports broadcasters, a lot of sports writers, and people on SportsCenter are the same way. I think there's some professional people, and there's other teams that aren't fans of this, but I'm okay with it. I think they're having some fun, and I think they should continue. Moving on to college football, the Kentucky Wildcats have been heavily disrespected in ESPN's new spring poll, not even in the top 25. Obviously, they had a large draft class go out this year, led by Josh Allen, and then taken later in the draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers was Benny Snell. That's a lot of their production they've had from the last year, but they obviously still have Coach Mark Stoops at the helm. They still have Terry Wilson playing quarterback, and they've got a lot of other big names coming back on this roster. I think this is going to be a Kentucky team that's going to be very competitive this year. I'm not sure I see them going 10-3 like they did last season and winning a bowl as big as the Citrus Bowl, being in talks for a New Year's Six bowl. I could see them doing that. I'm not going to predict that right now. I got to look at the way the rest of their spring plays out, as well as the rest of the preseason. It's going to be very difficult to see. You got to see where Gunnar Hoke's going to transfer to as the backup quarterback. That could be a pretty big moment, seeing if he's going to stay on the team or not. That could really affect team momentum and team chemistry, but I still think it's incredibly disrespectful. This is the 11th best team in the country from last season. They finished off with a great win against Penn State in the Citrus Bowl, and they get zero respect in this spring poll by ESPN, and ESPN needs to check themselves before Kentucky gets into that top 15 again next year. Finishing out the show tonight with NCAA basketball and the trial with Christian Dawkins and bribery and Adidas and you know everything that's happened over the last year. Christian Dawkins has been accused now by a New York State prosecutor of lying on the stand about bribery. Christian Dawkins had said that he did not pay any coaches with money from Adidas, and obviously there's videos of him doing that. Now there's the stuff with Sean Miller coming out about the fact that Sean Miller paid DeAndre Ayton $10,000 a month to be playing at Arizona. That has Arizona in its own hot water. But this is with Dawkins here. He faces now, I guess, a perjury charge. I would assume if he's lying on the stand, because of the fact that he said he didn't pay anyone, and if it's found out that he does, you have to think that's going to add some sort of amount to his prison sentence that he's going to go to for the original bribery charge. We'll see how it all shakes out. I mean, I said it the other day. I'm going to say it again now. The NCAA needs to go ahead and let their athletes get paid. It's time for these athletes to make the money, get some of the money that they're making for the NCAA. I'm not saying they should be getting these $1 million contracts that they're going to get once they get to the NBA, but it's time for them to get something. DeAndre Ayton was paid $10,000 a month to play at Arizona. Obviously, there are players that have been paid at other places. I'm not going to say they weren't. And I think, I'm a huge Kentucky fan. I think Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, Kansas, every program, and I don't even think it's just the big blue blood programs. I think every program is paying their athletes, at least in some way, to give them, whether or not it's spending money or whether or not it's money to stay alive because they can't eat enough, they can't get money for food, or their meal plan is, they can't get food at midnight once they're out of practice, or whatever it is that they have to do. I understand. I think they should get paid, and whatever it is that the NCAA, or whatever it is that these schools are doing and these coaches are doing, needs to be allowed. The NCAA needs to back off and finally allow these players to get what they deserve. They make billions and billions of dollars every year off of these athletes, and it's finally time for the players to get a piece. Now, we're going to close out the year here. It's been a fantastic year. It's the end of my junior year here at Bellarmine. I couldn't be more excited to get into the summer. But I want to thank everyone. It's been a fantastic year. Gary Fogle, Kyle Barnett, everyone that's in the comm school at Bellarmine has been fantastic this year. And I want to thank all you guys. I want to thank especially those people for their help creating the Bellarmine Sports Broadcasting radio and live sports broadcasting program that I spearheaded this year, and we were able to get on the air, go to the GLVC Conference Basketball Tournament, broadcast a lot of games there. We were able to broadcast from here in Knights Hall for some games. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a lot more next year with that. So make sure you're staying tuned to the Bellarmine Sports Broadcasting program. We're on the rise, and we're going to be better and better every year. I am Gabe Smith. It's been a fantastic year here at Bellarmine University. I'll see you next year. Have a good one.